Myan, I remember saying to Myan, a couple of years ago, I had Penguin publishers coming up to ask me to publish my book, and they were really keen on my story. And so I remember calling up Myan and had a meeting with these guys, and you know what, they gave me all these authors, these well-known New Zealand authors, and I said to them, no, I don't want anything. I've got a friend who's going to write my book, and they said, who's he? And I said, Myan Subrayan. They go, he's not even listed in here. I said, even better. No, because it was him who wrote the book, not me. And I remember saying to him, you got to go to England and you're going to meet all these wonderful heroes of mine, friends of mine, Martin O'Fire, Jason Robinson, Johnny Wilkerson, Rob Andrews, and you know what, he didn't hesitate. And this is the thing that I love about Myan, above everything else. He doesn't hesitate. He's not shameless. He'll just go. And that's what stood out for me more than anything else, his willingness to make himself available. Because in these trying times, especially you've got a lovely wife, Charlene, and beautiful girls, you know, most women would want their husbands by their side at home, you know, go to work but come back home. But this guy, he has all the freedom in the world to travel the world and do what he loves so much, which is to impact people. And that's what it's about. This book is about impacting people. He asked me the other day if I read it, I said no. You know, even right on to the last few days, have you read it? I said no. But literally, no, I was reading. I was reading at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's the time I normally get up. And I've been reading, and yes, I too have been inspired. I'm inspired by what's written in here. It's such an easy reading book, but very informative, as Fred alluded to early on. And so tonight's about celebrating a guy's gift. And I remember saying to Myan, I said, even though the world doesn't know you, even New Zealand, they might not know you as an author, but Myan, your life is like this. Is that someone chucks a pebble into the river, and the ripples goes and goes and goes. And then I said, those ripples will take you not just to these shores, will take you far beyond these shores. So your testimony and your witness, as you continue to be obedient to the Lord, will go much further than you ever thought. And so I pay tribute to you, Mike, and I salute you for your wonderful efforts. And just as an indication of how far he's come, my book was pretty much sold out and gone on to the second print, and all because of the way this guy wrote the book. And so thank you, Mike, for making me more famous. But you know, it's about being real, and this book is all about your own experiences, and that's all you can stand on, is your own experiences. And above more than anything, it's your obedience to the Lord, you know. And so I'm very proud to be part of your life. And just lastly, just like to also pay tribute to Jolene for your wonderful faithfulness and your love and support to this young man. And you too are a fantastic team. I was brought up in 2 words in sport. One was called team, and the other one was called pride. The acronym for team is TEAM, together everyone achieves more, and pride, PRIDE, personal responsibility and delivering excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honoured to be here simply because of one particular person that has impacted our lives. And no doubt, my first encounter with this fella, in fact, I think the first time he invited himself to my sister's house for a barbecue one day, and but the fact that he had such a love for the Lord. And you know, I am very honoured to know you, Myan. And even though we haven't known each other for that long, but I feel that you're a brother from another mother. And there's so much things about you that people are drawn to, and no doubt that's highlighted by the different friends that are present this evening. Years like 2 in 1995, unfortunately I wasn't there, and but 2 was there. But prior to that, in 1992, I had the privilege of being the very first All Black team, or the first official sporting body of any kind to be allowed back into South Africa after it was banned. And so I think 15, 16 years. And I remember as a young Pacific Island boy going through there, having witnessed everything in 1981 I remember I didn't know what I was involved. I remember going with my uncle to watch the Springboks and All Blacks. And to me, you know, racism and apartheid was totally irrelevant in my life, because all I wanted to do was see these Springboks, the great Springboks that we used to get up early hours in the morning and watch on black and white television in the early 70s. This was about. And in 1992, we landed in South Africa. And it was quite a tense moment. Because I never forget going through, they were chanting Springbok, Springbok, and on one side they were chanting All Blacks, All Blacks, All Blacks, and I thought, this is really weird, you know, but we were welcome into South Africa in the early hours of the morning. But, and I'll never forget getting into the bus, and we were told that when we get there, just listen to the people that were organising it. And so when we got there, there were soldiers there with their machine guns, and it's quite a frightening experience. And obviously their whole role was to make sure that our security was a top priority. And I'll never forget getting into the bus, and then we got addressed by one of the SAS guys. And then this was a big Afrikaans with the blonde hair. And he walks in and he goes, "Good morning and welcome to South Africa. My job is to keep you alive." Well, that was fantastic. I really that is my job. For the next 21 days, my job is to keep you alive. So listen at me at all times if you want to go back and see your families. What a wonderful introduction to South Africa. But what it did was open our eyes to the reality of what this country had been through. And everyone who knows South Africa, they've known the history and what they've gone through. We stayed in Durban, and that's how it was our first game. And it was an incredible experience at King's Stadium. You know, I think 65,000 people, they're all chanting. People didn't care, they just loved rugby. And I remember, and one of my fondest memories was Nelson Mandela. And I remember we had what they call it a braai, which is a barbecue in South Africa. And we was about 6 kilometres under the mine. And for us Kiwis, they were having barbecue 6 kilometres under the ground. And so we went on these huge lifts. And we went down, and as the closer we got to the bottom, you could smell the aroma of barbecue going on. I thought, wow, this is fantastic. And you know, the great man Nelson Mandela appeared, and we were all nervous, and you know, seeing this man of history. And I remember trying to impress him, like, you know, it was a barbecue for goodness sake, and here's me trying to cut the barbecue, these big, massive buffalo ribs. And I remember him turning around and he goes, "Inga, just use your fingers, bro." So that was it. But what a man. And yes, as Tuigamala alluded to, what a man who changed history. He changed history. He brought together this wonderful country, South Africa. And I remember the test. And I remember going down the tunnel, and all we could hear was this bee collar sound. Bzzz. What is that? And she was, "Oh, what's that kind of noise? We've never heard that kind of noise before. But you know this kind of noise." Bzzz. And when we ran out, there was actually the crowd just chanting. And you know, we've never experienced that in any park in all the years that I've played in front of a capacity crowd. And it was just an incredible buzz. It was the first time in my entire rugby career that I couldn't hear myself doing the haka. I had to look around because I wanted to make sure that I was in time with everyone else. And there was just a big, huge buzz. You know, thankfully the All Blacks wouldn't have won that game, but we went undefeated. But I had the great honour of playing against one of my childhood heroes, Danny Gerber. In 1981, I saw him playing against the All Blacks in Eden Park. And then for me to run on the same park, 1981? And it was 1992. And he was, I think he was 30 something, you know, and that was a big buzz for, in fact, all of our backs, John Curran, you know, Frank Bunsen, all the boys who play against this guy that we've seen so much in mind for a long time. Anyway, that is South Africa, and